We did find this one ice lagoon, which is very famous, known as, I think it's a Yerkel Skarlon, which basically means a lake full of icebergs. And they get trapped in this lake because they can't get out because there's a very narrow body of water that takes them out to sea. I sat there and looked at this and thought, well, we better stage the ice palace here because this will look fantastic. And then I thought, what happens when this freezes over? And the guy said, well, it freezes over, all the icebergs stay frozen, solid, locked in place. I thought, well, this is spectacular. What if we put cars on here and have a car chase on ice? I know we've seen cars on ice before, but never like this, not amongst icebergs, giant ones, 40, 50 feet high, sometimes several hundred yards across, tunnels of ice, quite astonishing. And the guy said, well, no one's ever done it, but you can put vehicles on it if it freezes over. So the most hair-raising aspect of the whole procedure, once we decided to go that way, was Iceland sits in a Gulf Stream, and often the ice doesn't freeze up solid enough to put the vehicles on.
We've had some trouble in Iceland. When we went there before Christmas, it was freezing nicely. But over Christmas, we had a thaw. Very warm, rainy weather came in. So Iceland's thawed out. It's maybe one of the few years where the lagoon does not freeze. We're looking at alternatives. We've been up to some places in Scandinavia. We might also go to Alaska. That's another possibility.
Alaska's not confirmed at this time because it's expensive and we don't officially have the permit and we don't have work permits for the crew.
Hi, yeah, Kenny? Because of the time pressure, whether we go to Alaska or Iceland, we are now going to have to fly the equipment wherever we go. We can't take anything by ship at the moment.
Iceland is not cancelled, but currently the ice is not thick enough. And the chances are, although it's freezing, it's possibly 8 or 9 inches thick, but we need 24 inches. And the chances of that happening in the next week or two is unlikely.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. The option to go to Alaska is obviously going full steam ahead as if we are going to go to Alaska. But nothing has been decided yet. I think the middle of next week will probably be the cut-off time when we have to make that decision.
Normally the setup time for something like this, to set this up, would take, I would normally want 6 weeks, and even that is a short period of time. But because we changed course, went to Alaska and then came back, I was only left with 2 weeks, so it was a bit of a scramble to get this ready. You know, we had trucks and things to bring over, and on the trip over we lost a wardrobe bus, sort of something like 18 tons worth of wardrobe bus got blown off the road. You know, we have gusting winds up to 180 miles an hour, snowstorms. The main concern for the crew when they got here was the safety on the ice, because ice is very unpredictable, and we have to ensure that the crew feel safe.
200 people is a lot of weight, and of course all the gear as well. So our biggest issue is making sure we're spread out, that we don't have everybody bunched together in one place, and so therefore putting too much pressure on the ice in one particular area.
What they feel is that if the ice does break, it'll put a wheel through, or it'll half go through. It won't just disappear, you know, from view that quickly. All the cars have got flotation bags, which the driver hopefully will pull before he leaves. That will make the car buoyant. It'll still be submerged, but it allows us to recover the vehicle.
We have to test it, so whenever we have a location given to us, we try and get ahead of everybody else, drill some holes. So for example, this morning they wanted to put a camera position near to an iceberg. We send somebody in, they drill a test hole to find out that the ice is thick enough. As long as within our parameters, we're happy for people to work there. And then we do a check around the area to make sure that that particular iceberg doesn't look like it's going to do anything strange, and that there's nothing going to fall off it that's obviously going to happen. Once we've cleared that, then the film crews can move in and use that area.
But the required thickness varies with temperature, you see. So at the moment, 30 centimetres is well safe. If it got warmer, it might change, though. Perfect day for filming.
Take two.
In our heated workshop, we're barely above freezing. As you saw, the icicles are still frozen on the cars. Out there, we're getting wind chills of about minus 22 to 25. You really can't show any skin at all. You've got to cover up and grin and bear it. We've had batteries freezing. That's the first thing. The batteries just don't like it. We have to try and keep them warm. We've had the gearboxes first thing in the morning when they're really cold after a night at minus 15 or whatever it is up here. They're very sluggish to get warm. When there is snow on the ice, it accumulates around axles and things, and the cars start getting sluggish. We have to bring them in, thaw out all of the ice around the axles and drive shafts. Brakes freeze on, tyres freeze to the floor. Yeah, it's a whole new experience. We've been out on the ice testing, highly successful, I have to say. Too much grip on the Aston, believe it or not. It drove just like it was on tarmac. The spiked tyres that we had made by Yokohama, unbelievable. Just like driving a car on normal road. So we've actually had to have normal tyres studded to give less grip to allow the guys to work the car.
Today is pretty dramatic, actually. It's quite eerie walking around on a lake, you know, it's 1,000 feet deep where we're standing, and we're walking on top of it, and there's slushy water on the ice, so you know there's an inch of water in a lot of places, so you can't help but feeling the thickness of the ice is starting to deteriorate. So we've got our safety guys keeping a close eye on that, but it's just purely the temperature rise.
We've got a nice warm wind. About +7 the temperature. We're drilling the ice about every half hour just to make sure that we're not losing any depth off the ice.
The dragster's getting ready to come onto the ice, and that will join us there as well.
There, yeah. So we start with 2 cars there, then dragster.
Yeah, it's only one car. There's another car coming onto the ice over there as well.
I'm paranoid about making the audience realise that it is an ice lake, so we've made all the moves in the chase ice orientated. In other words, they've got big spins and slides in them, so we're utilising, you know, what the ice can give us that a tarmac road can't. So we've got, you know, a couple of 180-degree turns in it, lots of broad power slides sideways, and again we've had all these cars built by the special effects who've done an incredible job. They've built them all four-wheel drive purely for this, so we've done some fantastic big long power slides with them and things like that. And we had a helicopter here with a West Cam on, so we've had the chance to do some great aerial coverage of it as well. And I think the ballet aspect of it all looks so great from the air. You get a whole different view of it. The two drivers, Ray DeHaan and George Cottle, are absolutely brilliant. I'm so impressed with them. We did a shot yesterday where Ray DeHaan had to rear end the Jag, but obviously there's, you know, a few £100,000 into each of these cars. We don't want to write them off, but we still have to get the shot for the movie. So it's a very, very precision tap that Ray had to give George on the rear quarter. So we had to nudge him, we had to have a contact, and his precision in hitting him and then backing off and letting George spin away was absolutely fantastic. But the thing they have to watch with on the ice, it's great getting the slides and everything else, but if you do happen to dig into some of this snow, you could flip, you know, because it'll suddenly get traction, right, sliding sideways, and then you get one of these pressure ridges, which some of them can be 3 or 4 inches high. So it's like sliding sideways into a curb. It could flip you, or certainly damage the car pretty severely, but it's so easy just to overcook it and just spin out.
As it turned out, we were blessed with just an unusually low temperatures that froze the ice just enough. The guys are up there at the moment shooting fantastic stuff, unbelievable stuff. I've never seen anything like it. Just racing cars at top speed, backwards, upside down, firing rockets, everything amongst the most spectacular terrain. Something about this stuff I've never seen before, and I've become far more enamored of it, and it's not fair to say so, but sometimes you watch second unit stuff and it can become a bit, it's just you watch everything. The second unit, the action units print everything, so you watch the same stuff over and over and over. And I have to watch it all, but it becomes a little tedious just watching this stuff. But this stuff I can't get enough of.